Hello, it's Kim Malinowski. It is 11:08. I was gonna say PM. It's AM. No, I'm in the basement, so even though there's a window, I'm like, it's dark. And just been on a dig, so I am not. I can't say I'm not with it, but like I'm not even achy. I just can tell that I've done work. It is August 16th, 2024. So this is for like the next week, or it can be timeless if you happen to find it. This is gonna be a fun one, I think. I'm using primarily Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and then I am using it's glow in the dark. So some other point I'll have not today, but I plan on figuring out how to use it. It must need a black light, but I could not buy it. I felt really guilty because I was like, I don't have the money for this, and yet here I am. Now I'm going to be going back and forth between them because they sort of tell the same thing, and like in different ways, but like it's like the same arc or story, right? So we start with our Ace of Pentacles. Again, isn't it great? I just love that the in the cemetery, the graveyard, whatever. And so the Ace of Pentacles is sort of like we are starting off with like I want to say a fresh start, like definitely second half of the year sort of feel. And it's a little bit past that, but it's pretty close in my area, at this time of year to being safe and just being like, let's just get through the year, right? And I think that we instead of let's get through the year, I think it's let's restart, or at least in a small way, restart and resume. Just take a breath and go forward. Now, this can be a new start in business and creativity, a new hobby, new love. Just, and it's a different type of abundance. You don't have to have like coins or money or whatever you consider abundance. Abundance can be friendships and just different types of like emotional wealth. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer is really at its heart, a lot of it's about friendship and finding the self. Buffy really like explores and finds herself. And I don't know how many times she dies and comes back different and changed. And that's sort of, that's how I feel. I think the last 6 months has been massively changing, life changing stuff that's going on. So now it's like, let's get started and resume and just be like, I'm a different person. Let's come back from the dead, right? Let's sort of get some of our energy back, some of the joy, something that makes you happy. I was in a sunflower field. I did archaeology. I mean, like, do something that is wild that you always wanted to do, but don't think you can. Believe me, people are willing to work with you. And even if you can't do it like it's supposed to be done, you can see how it is and you can learn. Just saying, I didn't think I could do archaeology, and I was just the paleo digger, and I was, you know, it, I was the pre, what would you call it? The pre-screener as like it's going around, sort of like bingo. That's what I could think of, bingo or a spinner. I don't know, a dryer, and I got to do the heavy. It actually was quite heavy of trying to get the dirt going around. After 3 days, I have a muscle. Oh yeah. So our next card is the lovers. So this can sort of go in lovers, yes, it can be romantic, it can be friendship, it could be, you know, something of that nature. It can also be a business partnership, and it can be like a self love, reflective. I do feel like every time that I draw a lover's card in any deck, there is sort of like this pull of together. Like we are not alone. We're not solo. We're not the hermit, right? We've sort of gone out of that energy and we're like, I can be in the world again. I can be with someone. I can work, companionship, something of that nature, okay? And the lovers, of course, Anya and Willow. Now the book says that it's about, desperately, pretty much fighting for love and being patient and working together and exploring our differences, and like it's a journey and like it is. I don't know how many relationship and like attachment style things I have listened to on YouTube and books and stuff. And it's like there's something we have to do our own work to keep, us solid with somebody else. And it doesn't have to be romance, though. Obviously, it can be. Um, but to you we have to do the work to keep a relationship going. So you can't just be passive and think that, it'll just happen. Oh, I'll just play video games or I'll just read and my partner will somehow still keep interest with me. Even if it's like a passive sort of thing, you're talking about the same book, you know, there has to be some type of interaction and work going on. We have to we have to be available to listen, and we have to be available to tell our feelings, which is and what our needs and wants are, which is incredibly hard and difficult. I mean, incredibly difficult. I mean, like those synonyms, right? But it's something that we have to do if we want to keep, you know, like a bond going. You can't just hold back, tell them 6 months later, this is what I really wanted, and you were awful, and like you can, and that's feedback, but it's confusing, like instead, what I'm having to learn is to say, hey, this is what I need you to do and say, do it. Like I have something traumatic. Who knows? Been a lot of things traumatic. And like we'd been followed, a friend and I, in a parking lot. I was like, after it was over, I was like, you have to say this to my friend, B. I was like, okay, now this is what you say. You can't just say, oh, good, you're safe. That doesn't help me any. I'm glad you are satisfied that I'm safe. But I need you to, give me some feedback, right? So say, "Oh, I'm so glad you are okay. What happened?" Blah 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 blah. Blah. On the text. Oh, and I gave a script, and afterwards, I felt better. Part of it is just communication, and it starts with. Now to go with that, I have the King of Cups reverse. Now this could be an actual person coming in, or that is there that is not quite the total package of the King of Cups. They're getting there and definitely sort of reserved, maybe a little bit judgy, not completely emotional connected. Like so some of this I feel is like we have to do the work for this, right? So it's exactly what I was saying. So like um I really felt that these were paired. And the way that I put it on my computer, like I have my computer as my sort of like my desk right now. They were already like probably like this. And I was called to like read them that way instead of like just in lines like I usually do. Um, I mean, it does sort of like take many to tango, take two to tango. It depends on relationships. You just have to learn how to express our needs and how to listen to others' needs, not react. It's difficult. Oh, it's so difficult. All right. Our next is the Hanged Man. I'm gonna read this one if I can find the book. Man. And I don't know what I all right. See, I pulled the cards that are holding my place because like these are like Buffy quotes and stuff. So we also have the Wheel of Fortune, which I didn't know that I so it's just, So definitely things are going and it can go anyway. We have to choose. So in this world of feels like chaos, we have to choose what we're doing, how we react, and where we're going forward as like no matter like what we do, we sort of go forward, but it just depends on I guess like which direction. And if it's really towards a relationship, like the cards that we just pulled, or if it's pulling back. This is I always feel like the choice card, especially if it's upright. Okay. So the Hanged Man. We're going to go back to Spike. um, it says a bad poet, a good man, and willing to give up his bloody ways if it means saving the ones he loves. Spike, as the Hanged Man, is about perspective, growth, and sacrifice. And this is like it was an amazing card of relationships. If you really want to think about this entire thing as relationships, which you can, that's supposed to be like a general reading. So if you are waiting for a job prospect, this could be like the journey So consider it like maybe more of an inner journey, and this is how it goes forward. Okay. So I do want to read it because it's fun. He may have lived for sodding ever, but even a vampire like Spike can see the world in a new light. What can you learn when you stop, give in to your surroundings, and relinquish the pursuit of progress? It's scary. The hanged man asks you to do just that. Take a pause. You are on the verge of self discovery. And if you go with it, you might just find your own spark. Okay. Now remember, we had the world card with it. Excuse me, Wheel of Fortune. World might be important too, because I just mentioned it, right? With Wheel of Fortune. So, like, choice, right? We are choosing. Also going with the hanged man, on my nice little rose. All right. It was the Knight of Wands. And like the hanged man and the Knight of Wands are not like too dissimilar. They're also not similar. The Knight of Wands is going off into battle. At least it's how I feel. It's like it's not quite swords, right? But it's like fast and ready to start new projects. And I just get so much energy from it, right? That's not what the hangman really says. Yes, pause. New perspective is what, is always like what the readers usually say. So you have a new perspective, and then you make a choice and go forward quickly, is how I read it. Then back to Buffy. We have the Seven of Stakes. And this talks about you in power, you know, total power, able to even defeat your own, inner demons, going forward and like real demons, right? So standing in power, knowing your power and worth, and going forth. It's amazing. Sort of like this energy of, self-discovery. So, like I said, if this is like not like you're like, I'm in a relationship and this isn't about me, but I'm looking for a career or whatever. This is sort of like this. If you stand in your power, good things are gonna come. And that is just a fact of life. People seem to be drawn to like strong presence and energy. And people help when you're not. I was very self-effacing, and I still am sometimes, but I recognize it a little bit more. Um, so, like after like people help you heal and then you stand in your power, things just like start rolling. Okay. So in that pause, we sort of change and we can make the decision to stand in our power, no matter if it's in a relationship or if it's in career. And like careers are about relationships, right? Get enough good going on with people around you and they make things happen. Things that you want to happen, right? All right. And this is the 7 of Wands. I have to look because the coloring is of course different. And if I turned out the light, maybe at this point it would glow. I don't know. So the 7 Wands. This is going into battle and going into your power and being your worth. I actually think they're the same, almost the same card. And the 7 versus 6, excuse me. So this is a 6. I am bad at Roman numerals. In fact, I'm bad at most numbers. So the 6 of wands. 7 wands are about challenge. So just to like know about the challenge, since I mentioned it, there might be like a bit of that because I obviously, like I really do agree with most readers that if we like pull out a different suit or a different number, that it's not like a mistake. It is like something that needs to come forward. Who knew? I always thought it was a mistake. Like I'm starting with the Queen of Swords in reverse, all right, inverted. So Queen of Swords holds herself. She's supposed to be completely in control of like her mind, intellect, body, and knows her power completely. Inverted, I would say, doesn't know the power. There's some cattiness. There might be there might be some judgment, that sort of thing. It's not quite Queen of Swords where she's in complete control. There's not that perfection. Okay. But that was drawn with the Three of Chalices. And this, of course, Buffy, Willow. Hmm. I did have these cards picked out. So the Three of Chalices, does it say? Mm, mm. Okay, it doesn't say. So I know one is Willow. All right, well, go for it, Buffy fans. Three of Chalices. The friends who slay together stay together. And this is an opportunity to celebrate the people in your life. When you are influenced by the Three of Chalices, you might feel inspired to plan a slumber party, host a nuts COVID meeting, or gather your crew at the Bronze for some festive frolicking. Get fun having. Get with the fun having. Yeah, okay. Excuse me. That was like, it's actually grammatically correct, but I'm not used to that other people using this language the same way I do. So I always stutter. I'm like, what? You left out of words. My poetry leaves out words. Now with this card, I know like I had these cards that were drawn, but I didn't look at. So the chariot goes with the chalices. So there is this quick energy and a traveling energy. So if you have to even go to your friends, go to your lovers, go to your job interview, it's fast and it's coming. The other one that I pulled was for the Seven of Stakes. Get it back up. All right, the Buffy. I read what it said, but I wanted it to because it says power, you have it, others don't. This bothers them. And that's an interesting take that I don't know it always says that others bothers them because yes, I've had that certainly. And like how do we deal with that, right? How do we deal with that? And like we got the Queen of Pentacles inverted. So I would say that it's again not necessarily like monetary wealth that is lacking. I would say it's almost like this maturity. So this idea that we have to take those people, understand what to say. You have it, you they don't, that we have power and that, we can stand in it, understand it, feel that wealth, be in control, stand in our value, have all the challenges and pass them almost, find ourselves. So what I say with wealth and Queen of Pentacles, right? I wanted to make sure because I needed to say Pentacles correctly. So this like deepness I think that we get. And I think even though I took the card much earlier with stakes, I think this is a card that we might have to, think about the most and like almost end with as well as have it in the beginning, you know, stand in our power, become the Queen of Pentacles, become the Empress or the High Priestess, like all of these are about cycles. And, with the stakes, once we stand in our power, we're able to get what we want. Okay. Seven challenges us, and then we keep going. And then we stand in our power. And then we sort of begin again as we started the Ace of Pentacles, that chance. And like even like the Wheel of Fortune, chance, right? So we have it all. We have chance, choice, standing in our power, understanding ourselves, telling the world our lovers, our needs, and listening as well. And I think that we will have a very successful, I want to say next 6 months, probably a very successful everything. It's a cycle. So that means life keeps happening. So if we keep growing and keep doing these things, keeps going on the cycle, eventually we will be able to stand on our truth, be wise, and be able to help others and teach others how to do it. That's my take. So stakes, we have high stakes, we slay them, and we get our chances. And we new starts. All right. So that's our reading today. I hope you stay absolutely wonderful. Well, stand in your power. Don't let others take it from you. We can do this. Um, like I said, I'm gonna just repeat it. Stand in your power. All right, take care. Bye bye.